Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina. I'm your host, Tina Thompson, and I always feel like it's a privilege and honor when I get to interview inspirational folks like I've got here with me in the studio today. Miss Christa Moody, she is somebody here in our city that, oh my goodness, Christa, you do so much. And I'm just going to tell you now, one of my really good friends, when I was talking to her one day, I said, I want to get some more inspirational people on the show. I want to try to have somebody every week. Do you know of anybody? Bam. It was like split second out of her mouth. And I'm not going to say who it is quite yet. You may have already figured it out. But because there's something that she shared with me that I'm going to share with you a little bit later here in the show. So I hope that you will stick around and continue to listen to what she has to say about you as an inspirational person. You are somebody you've gone through some challenges, haven't you?
I have.
Do you care to share with what some of those challenges are, Christa?
Absolutely. I am a 4-year, breast cancer survivor. I try as much as I can to talk about the breast cancer, to get out the word early detection, self-breast exams. That's the key. I mean, sometimes that's the key to saving your life. It's so important, and it's such a simple thing. The mammograms are not that painful. I mean, you feel a little pinch. It's not that painful. Certainly not worth being afraid of and not doing it.
How did you find out? Was it something because you have always known that you need to take the precautionary measures and to make sure to get the mammograms and self-check and all of that stuff?
I started my mammograms at age 39 because my mother had breast cancer. So I've always been very vigilant about my self-breast exams, just always watching, knowing that I had just that risk. So in 2015, I had my mammogram, and I didn't get the card in the mail. And so I thought, well, maybe it just got lost. I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah. Then my family doctor called me and said, have you got the letter yet? And I said, no. And he said, well, we found just a little something, and we want to check it out. And so I went to the hospital and had another mammogram done, and the radiologist at that point told me, I think it's just calcium. I don't think it's anything we need to worry about at this point, but let's do another mammogram in 6 months. And I was like, okay, Whew. Well, my family doctor calls me again, and he says, so you got the results? And I said, yeah. He said, are you okay with that? I said, I am if you are. He said, I'm not. And I said, why? Do you think I have cancer? He said, no, I'm not saying that at all. I just would like someone, a surgeon, who deals with this every day to check. Yeah. So I went to a surgeon the following week, and he did, he examined me, and he's like, I just don't think it's anything. I think it's just calcium. He said 80% chance it's calcium. He said, but if you're the type of person that you worry and will fret about this, he says, I can take it out. I said, take it out.
Yep.
Take it out.
And it's not necessary that you would fret or worry about it. I mean, it's going to be on your mind, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, to wait, how could you wait, 6 months to say, okay, let's try this again. I don't blame you one bit.
Yeah. So I went in, had the biopsy done. That's when we found it.
Wow.
It was very, very early stage, but my genetic testing came back. I am a high candidate for reoccurrence. Oh, okay. So we did 6 weeks of radiation, and my life changed. Totally. When you go through a disease like cancer, it makes you abundantly aware of what's important and how very fragile this life is.
It's living the unknown.
Absolutely.
Like you have no idea what is going to happen next.
Yes. I cannot say enough about my team, my doctors, my nurses, my oncologists. Fairfield Medical Center, oh my goodness, they are just family to me. They were my cheerleaders and my supporters. When I call them the dark days, the days that I'm like, I can't do this anymore, I'm done. They were there supporting me, giving me strength and the courage to fight on. I made it.
I think so much that we need to all remember is that we've got those folks there to cheer us on.
Absolutely.
As long as we look for them, and we we appreciate them. So what have you done since then, after you recovered from the dark days?
Yes, it took me a while to recover. Radiation was tough for me. Just a little bit of burning, a lot of fatigue. And that took a while to get past, and that's normal. But my sense of having to do something, I want to make a difference before I leave this world. I want to make this world a better place for my children, for my grandchildren before I leave it. And so I've made so many wonderful, wonderful friends along the way. Some dear friends of mine, we're all breast cancer survivors. We started a group, it's called Pink Hope Society. And what we do is, if we know of a woman or even a man, men get breast cancer too, that is struggling, we want to reach out, be a friend, help them. Just, take them out to dinner, make them cookies.
How important do you think it is for folks going through tough times to have laughter and positivity in their life?
Everything. It's everything. Yeah. I had one of my best friends, every day in the mail, I got a card from her supporting me. There were cards of hope, cards of love, funny cards, support. I had another girlfriend that she would call me when the days that I couldn't go to work and I would be at home. What can I do? Can I go to the grocery? Can I go to Panera and get you an orange scone? Just always there, loving and supporting me.
And that is something I want to ask. What is the best thing that friends and family can do other than, bring positive and joy and laughter into your life? What can they do? Bring food, bring things, call you up, listen to you. What do you suggest for others?
When you have cancer, it's just the emotions are so fear, anguish, the what ifs are tough. So many different emotions. Just listen. Listen.
Okay. Yeah. And I know, Krista, that everybody is different, but I have an aunt of mine who was diagnosed many, many years ago, so she's been in remission for years, thank God. And I remember back then, she goes, I just wish once somebody wouldn't come up and ask me about cancer, because I hear it and I'm living it, and sometimes I just don't want it. I don't want to hear it for a minute.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I absolutely do. When I was going through it, I wouldn't talk about it. In fact, there were a few of my coworkers didn't know until after I was through it, because I felt marked. I felt alone. I felt like just the aloneness was so overwhelming for me. And that's one of the things we at Pink Hope try to change. That fall, this was in 2016, early 2016, that I went through everything. In the fall of 2016, I did the Coleman race in Columbus. And that was the first time that I was with other women. And it was so empowering to me.
I bet.
And I felt like all the emotions and everything that I was feeling, it's okay. It's okay to still cry about it. It's okay to feel still some of the loneliness about it.
Yeah.
It's okay. There's a lot of other women that will support me and be there for me. It was amazing. Aww. Absolutely amazing.
Well, I know that we are going to get ready here to take a break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back. We want to find out some of those things that Krista does. And I'm going to share with you a letter that somebody had written just to let her know how much and how she's inspired them. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
Thank you.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina, and my guest, one of them this week, is Christa Moody, and she is a breast cancer survivor of 4 years, yay, now. And she is, I want to say, continuing that fight of, I don't like to use the word fight, but how about empower other women and sometimes men, and just to let them know through Pink Hope Society. I love that. That is so, yes. It's a cute name. By, just making sure that they're doing what they need to do and reaching out and helping them and being a friend. And she had mentioned in the last segment about just listen. Listen is the best thing to do.
It
right?
absolutely is. When a patient wants to talk, oh my goodness, that's wonderful. I volunteer at the Cancer Resource Center once a month, and I am really squeamish about medical stuff. But, so I kind of look away when I see some of that.
I do that too. I do that too.
Yeah.
I cringe just thinking of.
Yeah. But what I can do, I can go in and I can talk to the patients, and I can share a word of encouragement and a word of hope. And if they want, I'll pray with them. And that's something I can do. I can give back to them.
Yeah.
I have to tell you about this one patient really quick. She was the sweetest lady. She's through her treatments now, but whenever she would see me, she'd say, "Hey, legs, come over here."
Did you show your legs a lot or something, Krista?
No, she thought I had nice legs. I don't know, but she was a sweet lady. But some of the other things that have been so good that have come from that, I've become very active in the community. And I'm so proud of that. I'm on several boards, Friends of the Park board. Oh my gosh, I love our parks. Meals on Wheels is such an important board because nobody should be hungry. I'm on my Rotary board. This June, I'll be president of our Sherman Rotary.
Nice.
I'm really excited about that. Last year, I joined Destination Downtown board. When I started at Fairfield Federal back in the 80s, downtown was booming and alive and thriving. I used to go down to Biter and Flagey's. They had a little soda bar, and I could go down and get a chicken salad sandwich and a cherry Coke for a couple bucks. And oh my gosh, it was wonderful. Well, then, as time went on, downtown kind of died. And it was just nobody wanted to come downtown. But now it's back.
It is back, you guys!
In a big way.
With a bang!
Oh my goodness, and so many good things are happening. I don't know if you were able to attend the New Year's Eve event.
Absolutely.
Oh, we're estimating around 2,000 people were there that evening.
Beautiful.
And it was fabulous, fabulous. Not one bit of problem. Everybody had a great time. Wonderful evening.
Well, I know we've only got a couple of minutes left, so Krista, I want to make sure that I get this letter read to you. I know that you do a lot of these things, and I'm just going to say it from her letter because she mentions a lot of the different things that you said, that you do. At the beginning of every year, I reflect back and I think how I can make my new year better. What can I do to be a better person? What can I do to be a better person? I many times think about other people in my community that have done great things and I admire. This year, it was a very easy decision, and I find the person that amazes me the most in my community is friend Christa Moody. I met Krista some years back and found her a most inspirational individual I have ever met. As she works full-time for Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, she is all over our community helping many local 501c3 community groups. She is the center and the focus of so many projects in our community and is always there to be involved and make each event a success. She always has a smile on her face and a positive thing to say, even on a dreary day. It doesn't matter what it is about what it is about, be it our downtown visit with Santa and tree lighting, or pancake breakfast, community parades, Friends of the Parks, historic events at the Fairfield Heritage Association, and even the Glass Town Countdown by making ornaments for the ball. Krista is up front and ready to get involved in almost everything. I love her family festive outfits and appropriate clothing that she appears in to make each event come alive. I follow her daily on Facebook, social media, because her posts are always inspirational and many times put a smile on my face and start my day laughing. Over the holidays, and especially at Christmas, I think she bakes for Santa, and I'm sure during the Fairfield County Fair, Krista's delicacies in the way of cakes or cookies or anything concerning food will probably be there with a blue ribbon. I many times have said, when do you ever find time to sleep? If she has any private issues that are a problem in her life, we rarely see them, because with Christa Moody, life is about making everybody else happy, bringing joy and having fun. So I'm writing this letter today to honor Christa Moody for the most amazing person of the year 2020. If more people were like her, what an amazing world that would be. Janet Maraud.
Thank you.
Follow her on Facebook if you can, guys, because she is amazing and she brightens my day. And we've got gift certificates I want to give you. This one is from, this is from Ava Jewelers. And this is from Ireland Spa and Salon. And this is $30 certificate to Walker Shoes. And thank you so much, Krista, just for being who you are, my friend. I know we're both attached. We'll be back. It's Down Home with Tina.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a recovering addict. For 10 of the last 11 years, I've been struggling with addiction, homelessness, incarceration, and just loneliness. However, since getting clean this past year, I've accomplished more than I have in those 10 years combined. After attending outpatient counseling services, inpatient counseling services, living in a sober living house, and attending 12-step meetings, I've been able to regain control of my life and begin to achieve goals I've always dreamed of. Addiction can destroy lives in many ways. Whether you need help with childcare or financial assistance, everyone deserves a new beginning. Recovery supports are just that, supports for recovery. My life mattered. Your life matters too.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have got Jay Matlin with me now. He is involved with the Garret Players. Hey, Jay.
Hey.
How are you, man?
Good, how are you?
Good. How did you find out about the Garret Players? I want to ask you that first, because I'm going to share my story as well.
So I was originally involved with a group called Lancaster Arts and Civics, and they do children's plays and stuff, and there was a small group of us that was involved with LACC that kind of saw a need for more of an adult-oriented theater in Lancaster and Fairfield County. So Ron and Donna Keaton kind of got with, I think, Marilyn Steiner at the library and the Friends of the Library, and they started up Garret Players, which ironically is in the garret of the library, which is on the 3rd floor. So I got roped into my very first show. I guess it technically wasn't even a Garret Players show then, A Man for All Seasons, I think back in 2012.
Was that the very first?
That was the very.
Anything
I would say we
done?
weren't the Garret Players then, but that was the first show that that became.
It
was kind of like we dabbled. Like, is this going to go somewhere?
Oh yeah. Are people going to want to come out and actually be a part of this to act? Because you get your actors from the community.
Exactly.
But we'll get to that.
But I was involved with that show. And we collected canned food for a couple pantries here in town, and then I think Ron really saw that this could go somewhere. I think we all saw it, and the very first official, so Man for All Seasons was in, I think, March of 2012, and then the very first official Garret Players show was of Mice and Men in the fall of 2012 in the library, and that seemed to be a hit, and Lancaster really enjoyed themselves, and Garret's a unique experience anyway, so it's
truly
different. So, but that's how I got started.
with the Garret
Yeah.
Players. So my story with the Garret Players, I used to do a talk radio, and I must have, or I can't remember, maybe Ron reached out to me, one or the other. And it was just about when it was getting going. And I cannot remember what production it was the very first time when they came in to speak to me. But so I have Ron Keaton and Sandy Mulholland. And Sandy has since passed. And I'm not going to get emotional, but I could easily, because I shared with them during that interview that I always wanted to do theater and act on stage, but I was always afraid of forgetting my lines.
Right.
Well, Sandy says, well, you don't have to memorize your lines.
Yep.
And I was like, really? And she must have seen like a light or something, because after that, she contacted me and asked me if I wanted to be in the production of Harvey. So before I go any further with that, I want you to explain what happens when you decide to be in one of the productions of Garret Players.
So
Most of them, I guess,
Most
because
of
some of
them.
them are a little different.
Yeah. Typically with Garret, we have a director. The director a lot of times casts the show on their own with the help of other Garret players that have been involved in the past, and so kind of no audition process, which takes the heat off of having to prepare something and get all nervous and worked up. And but the other cool thing is it's typically a 2-week commitment. So for those of us that are super busy, involved in a lot of other things like I am,
awesome.
It's awesome because you show up on Monday the first week and you rehearse typically Monday through Thursday.
Yep.
And then nothing over the weekend.
Yep.
And then you rehearse Monday through Thursday again the next week, and then you have 3 performances, Friday, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon, and then you tear your set down, and that's the end. For someone like me who's involved in a lot of other things in the community, this is perfect because I love theater. I love community theater, and this is an easy commitment to a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
And, if that's all you want to do for the entire season, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get upset. Nobody's going to.
Yeah.
And you're not memorizing lines because you're standing with the script in your hand.
On stage reading.
Yes.
Is that what they call it?
A stage reading, yeah. Which the very first time that I went through I've always been a theater person that memorizes your lines. And
Yeah.
you're off book by so many weeks into the show. And so when Ron approached me and said, you'll have the script in your hand, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And,
What do I do?
And I'm thinking that the book that you have in your
Yeah.
hand, I'm thinking something like that is all the bigger it's going to be. So I'm like, okay, this is fine. Well, we show up to the first rehearsal, and if you've worked with Ron Keaton before, he's very organized. He's very thought-oriented. He thinks things out. And he hands out these big binders with 8.5 by 11 blown-up scripts inside. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, how are we going to hold this and interact with the audience and props and the set? And but once you get used to it, if it's your first time, it's kind of difficult to get used to at first.
Yeah.
But if you've done it before, it becomes second nature. And we've heard from the audience a lot of times that the script fades away. They don't even notice that it's there.
No, because you're acting, you're moving, you are interacting with these other individuals. It is a play. It's a story that they're to watch and listen and see.
And for someone who's not been involved in theater, or maybe new to theater, or maybe wants to try this out, it's intimidating to know that you're gonna have to memorize lines or something. And this makes it really simple. For me, I would say the worst thing for me is how close the audience is, because I come from a staged theater background where you've got a full stage and an audience, and usually a couple rows back, once the lights go down, you don't see anyone. So you just pretend that it's just you and your castmates on stage. But with Garret, they're this far.
Sandy Mulholland and Ron did get me to get involved, and my first production was Harvey. And I don't want to run out of time because it's just, I love Garret Players. I think they're such a cool nonprofit organization.
Right.
Well, anyways, so I was Myrtle May and Harvey, and Kathy DeRoff was the director in that production. And the first week, I was probably, and I'm not kidding, the worst actress you would ever see. I went home and I studied and worked and worked and worked and went over. And I came back on that Monday and she comes over to me and bless her. She hugs me and goes, I don't know what happened, but you are doing so wonderful. I was like, that confirmed how bad I was the week before. But Jay, it was just such an experience. And I give cookies out. This is about Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy told me a secret ingredient that she puts in her cookies, and that's how I make my cookies. So do you know, every show that I do here on TV, Sandy Mulholland is part of it because of the cookies and the almond extract that we put in it instead of vanilla. But anyways, you have a production coming up,
Yes.
and we're running out of time, and
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. I talk a lot too, so.
Good thing.
Yeah, I'm directing The Murderous Mansion of Mr. Uno. It's kind of a take on Clue. My favorite part of this show is the first act is, you know, the murder and people trying to figure out what's going on. But the second act, when we go to intermission, the audience will be asked to vote on who they think the killer is. And so when we come back from intermission, we have picked the top 3, and then we'll perform those 3 and then the real ending. So the second act of the show is basically, you know, what the audience wants to be the killer, and then we'll tell who the real killer is.
Has it been cast yet?
Part way, not all the way.
Because I did the night of January 31st, and I was not guilty every time. You're going to have your book back. Jay Matlin, check him out. What is your website real quick?
jaymatlin.com.
For Garret players.
Garret players. I can't remember the web address off the top of my head, but if you Google Garret players, Lancaster, Ohio, it's the first hit.
I think it's pretty much GarretPlayers.org. But anyways, I'll be back. Thank you so much, Jay. You did awesome. How fun. Okay, guys, it's Down Here with Tina.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the high school football game of the week. I'm Jaron Stewart alongside Tim Shoemaker. Tonight, we've got a great one for you. The Bloom Carroll Bulldogs.
We had a great week of practice. Even in the rain and the weather, we had a great week of practice.
Schneider, lots of running room to midfield. He's gone. Ryan Schneider down the near sideline for a touchdown for the Aces.
We have a hold on the offense, number 20. That penalty will be declined. They'll bring up 4th down.
We're going to give you this game ball here because you're a Tiberios fan of the game, and thanks for being here, Jacob.
Thank you. The Polar Bears are your OAC tournament champions, first time since 2009. What an exciting finish for the Ohio Northern Polar Bears.
Very proud of this trophy because you've earned it.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. Down Home with Tina is brought to you by Huddle Tire Company, Donald Law Office, Ava Jewelers, Ireland Spa and Salon, Walker Shoe Center, Fairfield Area Humane Society. They're the reason why I get to be here every week, and I want to thank you guys. You're the reason why I am too, for you to continue to watch. You can check us out, Down Home with Tina, on Spectrum Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 10 a.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m. on 1021. Also, YouTube, CLN, Your Hometown Connection, and my Facebook page. Down Home with Tina. I've got just a quick little quote for you. January is National Tea Month, and I like tea. I like my coffee better, but I also like tea. I like green tea or different kinds of herbal tea. They have all kinds, if you want to relax, things like that. They even have a tea for that. But what I wanted to tell you with my positive quote today is that you're not always going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay for you to not be exactly the way they expect you to be. Just be who you are. Bring joy and light and peace to our crazy world that we live in, and just most importantly, have fun and joy. Down Home with Tina, I'm having a blast, and it is also because of you guys. Thank you so much. It's Down Home with Tina.